Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Hey everyone, this is Reese Deans of the Deansy Boy Show. I am back with another video. Another video. Well, I keep trying to post other videos and all that sort of malarkey every now and then, but okay, here's another video for you guys. For you truly. Right, I'm here to break the ice. I'm here to break every single ice with a hammer, with a little pick, and just go like that. Just to give you a nice little sculpture of what's happening right now on Twitter and what just recently happened a few weeks ago when I went on the TVH brand show. Yes, Mr. TVH. We finally got to have one video where it was just me and him talking about wrestling, talking about other stuff, and it started off really nice. It started off very nicely, and it was all peaceful, loving, and we got down to talking about we were going to make reviews, we were going to make all sorts of things, and then all of a sudden he asked me about my opinion of the current state of WWE, and I said that, it's true that more people are more invested in the actual wrestling product than they are with the storylines per se. Meaning that they'd rather be told the storyline through the wrestling matches. This is why Nakamura is always getting over in the WWE, or what he should be getting over, to be precise. And most of the time when I'm watching WWE, I always follow what stories are good and what stories are bad. It's like right now I'm really invested in Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, because they're doing the ultimate deletion angle now, which Bray Wyatt's going to go to Matt Hardy's house, and then they're going to have what Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy done in TNA, which will be good. But anyway, going back to TVH, so he asked me of my thoughts on how to get things going up again, and how to get down to it. Let's just say, and I said I don't think the ratings matter anymore, and then he lost his cool with me because Raw and SmackDown are on television, and the ratings have dropped low. It's turned out to be a disaster. But the problem you got is WWE have moved on a lot from the Attitude Era. It's not the Monday Night Wars anymore. We haven't got to witness any more competition. TNA have tried it years ago, but it didn't work because they weren't big enough and strong enough, and especially when you're having Hulk Hogan being one of the bosses, especially with Eric Bischoff, you're going to have a lot of problems. So that was that. So if you got WWE, one of the biggest companies in the world, and they got no competition, then what's the point? So you got to move on somewhere else. That's why Vince McMahon has brought back the XFL. That's why I think, because he's got no competition, he doesn't know what to do with the company. He's probably thinking, I want to do something else. Because he's in his 70s, he's on roids all the time. He thought, why don't I go and do American football? And that's why a lot of people are loving Triple H. A lot of people loving Triple H when he does NXT, he does the WWE UK Championship tournaments, he does all these things. He brings in wrestling, he brings in what people actually came to pay their money. And that's the thing. Kids, it's like kids go and watch their heroes fight. I'm going to mention the kids. As much as I'm not a fan of kiddie wrestling, but I do respect what the kids love to watch. I mean, I was a kid once. I grew up watching Mick Foley, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Triple H. Okay, I grew up during Attitude Era, or towards the end of the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression Era, so I grew up watching my heroes, those kind of wrestlers. And TVH was saying that, because he likes the Attitude Era, it should go back to that. He should go back to the tits and ass or the bra and panties match a thing. But as much as I don't like political correctness, the women have actually developed more as professional wrestlers. They've actually been more athletic. They've actually been giving us brilliant matches. I've seen a lot of indie wrestling shows recently, and Nixon Newell stood out for me, and she's a Welsh Valley's girl, and she can do some of these stunts and some of these moves that I thought, Jesus Christ, not even a big time can do that. I thought the best women's wrestling match I saw was Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 32. I thought that was the highlight of WrestleMania. you know, you got all these women's wrestling matches in NXT, and there goes TVH slamming them, saying, "Oh no, you should get back to them stripping off naked." And I thought, well, that's not how it is. I think women should deserve to wrestle a lot more than they should have. And then I tried saying that, but then TVH kept having a go at me, and then now he's calling me I love fake fights. He's saying I'm acting like a 12-year-old when I go to all these indie shows, giving chants and everything. But keep in mind, I'm not the only one who's doing it. There's a lot of wrestling fans out there who are chanting for their favourite wrestlers. It's like me. What he was mentioning about me as a 12-year-old going chanting all these wrestlers, he seemed to have forgotten. He came with me, along with Jesse as well, one of our good friends, and TVH's brother. We went there, and I started doing some chants because I'm familiar with the wrestlers. I know what they are chanting. And below me, there was a lot of fans chanting as well. And then TVH was just shaking his head, thinking, "Oh," as if to say, "Oh, this is not wrestling." It's always been that way. It happened in the Attitude Era as well. So I don't know what you're talking about there, TVH, but you clearly just do not get wrestling. He's saying it's breaking his heart as well that wrestling's gone this corner. Where can it go? I mean, I don't understand where you're actually coming from here, TVH. You're saying it breaks your heart. Where do you want him to go? You can't go to bra and panties matches all the time because you're insulting wrestling fans' intelligence. Because you know what happens when you insult wrestling fans' intelligence? They just turn the TV off, they don't watch the network, or they just won't simply come to another event anymore. You got to think logical. You got to think out of the box. You can't just think, "Oh, let's just strip women off and just make in a wrestling event, a wrestling show, in a ring." You know, it's just ridiculous. And I don't mean to. I mean, he's got his heroes. I got my heroes, and one of his heroes is Vince Russo. Now he's saying he's one of the best writers ever. He's misunderstood. Okay, he could be misunderstood, but he's not a very good wrestler. He's not a good writer for wrestling. Maybe for television shows, just simple TV shows. I don't know, like Breaking Bad or something like that. But you know, when you're writing for a wrestling show, there's a fine line between ludicrous and making sense. And Vince Russo is always on the ludicrous side. That's why in WWE, he's always slammed as one of the worst writers and worst geniuses ever. And that's why he's one of the few people that caused the death of WCW. I'm not saying it was his fault entirely, but if you created a storyline which a Hollywood actor wins a big WCW title belt, you got a lot of problems there. And especially creating matches like a Viagra on a pole matches or anything like that, you know, you're just insulting fans' intelligence. There's no meaning to it. It's got to have meanings. And then there goes TVH saying, "Oh, ratings, where do we get them? Oh, storylines, you know, they're not invested in Shinsuke Nakamura." There's millions of ways you can get Nakamura, you can get people to invest in Nakamura. There's loads of reasons. And there's loads of ideas as well. The reason why AJ Styles and Nakamura are so invested in this big main event is because TVH does not watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. He does not watch TNA Impact. He does not watch the indie scenes. I bet you he's only been to one, and that was the one I took him to, and he's called me a 12-year-old. I mean, fucking, I don't know where he's coming from with that, and now he's saying, "Oh, fake fights and everything." So he's clearly not a wrestling fan. He is clearly not a wrestling fan at all. Simple as. It's like me, I love the art of wrestling. Not the podcast, I mean I love the true art of wrestling. I love the athleticism, the storylines that are told in a wrestling match. Right? There's always a storyline told in a wrestling match. It's like, I'll tell you one thing, TVH. Go and watch Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 19. That match alone, without the build-up, which is pure brilliant, you know, because you've got Chris Jericho, who has been the second Shawn Michaels, but he wants to be the first Chris Jericho, and he's trying to beat him to become the best, and he does not. And you know, you just watch it, just watch the match, right? I'll recommend that to you. And if we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania 17 like we're supposed to, then look at the storyline between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, or Stone Cold and The Rock, and Triple H and The Undertaker. You know, I mean, it's storyline after storyline in a match. Every single time you watch a wrestling match, there's a storyline to it. So, So in all, I've not taken it to heart in some way. I know I've expressed my frustration, but it's just the fact that when someone comes up to you and says fake fights and oh, you're chanting like a 12-year-old, then you're clearly not a wrestling fan, and you're clearly ignorant, and you're clearly a twat. So that's the way I put it. I mean, if he's telling me, if TVH is telling me about ratings, saying, oh yeah, go on and watch fake fights and everything, why do you like WWE, which is a professional wrestling company? It's not even sports entertainment. They say they're sports entertainment, but it's not. It's wrestling. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult anyone else's intelligence. It's a fucking wrestling show at the end of the day. Simple as. And you're saying fake fights? Well, why do you care so much about WWE and the ratings? I think you'd be one of the worst wrestling bookers ever, sharing the top spot with Vince Russo. I mean, I got nothing to say on that matter, so I'm just gonna leave that out there. I mean, me and TVH, we haven't finished our beef. I don't think it ever will, but I can respect his opinions on what he cares for about the business or the product or anything like that. But he should respect my opinion. But he didn't. He never respected my opinion in the first place, because he's like I said, he insulted me. He called me a fucktard, even though I called him a fucktard because he was just basically trying to think, oh, this is the way forward, which it isn't. Bra and panties and ludicrous storylines do not go well in wrestling matches or shows, whatever, right? So here's the thing, TVH. Every time you're going to say something, I'm just going to respect your opinion. Your opinion may be crap or rubbish or wrong, but that's the way you think. I hope you're going to respect the way I think, because I've got my own ideas, I got my own thoughts and opinions, and I would like to wish you would respect my opinion. So there we go. I mean, I'm not one for much of a confrontational person, you know, because I don't like to go on and on and on and on and on, because that's not me. I like to go and have fun when I go and watch wrestling matches. So if you don't like me having fun, then wrestling's not for you, mate. Simple as. Well, that's it for now. But coming up soon, just moving on from Mr. TVH, coming up soon, I'm going to be releasing the Away Days episode. I don't know how many episodes I've done now, 12, 13, I don't know, but I'm going to Carmarthen. I'm off to Carmarthen. Here we go, Carmarthen, my first ever Carmarthen Town away match. I mean, I've been to watch Barry v Carmarthen at home, but I haven't been to the away game, so I'm looking forward to it. So come on the town, come on the boys, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video as well. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and just to give him some slack, go and subscribe to the TVH brand. He is at times can be a good sport. Go follow him on Twitter as well. Just look up his YouTube channel as well. I mean, it's awesome, and I hope our video gets over like 1,000 views or something like that. I don't know, but TVH as a person who can be nice, good on you. As a person who likes to tease people, pick on people because they've been wrestling fans, calling them a 12-year-old and saying I have no clue, anything like that. In the words of my friend Jim Cornette, thank you, fuck you, bye. And this is Rhys Deans of the Dinty Boy Show, and I'll see you soon.